All right. So I kind of want to talk about kind of like the mental blocks with mindset today and things that I've been learning and overcoming and working on myself too. And I think that with mindset, it's easy to be like, oh hey, we have this like, you know, you just have a positive mindset and do this and do that, right? But when it comes down to it, it's harder than people really think. And especially if you've been, in like a negative mindset or you've just been feeling down, like it's harder to, get out of that and really, um, just be in that space. So with the blocks with mindset, I think that, you know, it's really just getting things out of your head. And we spend a lot of times in our head and there's things that we're constantly thinking about, things are always going through our minds. But I really think that getting it out of your head and like onto paper and like writing it down or speaking it or I mean even typing now, I feel like writing it out is the best thing, honestly, just because that's like just you're physically like writing, like it's like that mindset of like getting it out of your head, right? Or the act of doing that. So I think that that in itself is part of what's going to help you out. But I think just being able to separate yourself from your thoughts is really the biggest thing, because our thoughts are like we are our biggest critic. And we try to talk ourselves out of things all the time. And it's really just ourselves against our mind, whatever it is. So like I said, getting that out of your head, like writing journal prompts every morning, or starting your day even with affirmations and gratitude, like starting your day with things that you're thankful for, and already starting your day in that like positive mindset. So um even if you do it before bed too, like just going to bed with a fresh mindset, or like writing down things about your day, journaling your feelings, or like what you're constantly, what's going on in your head, or just what you feel there's a block from, or like why you even think you're experiencing a block, or if there's, something positive that happened to you, like write about that, like write about these things, and like whatever you really like, feels best for you to do, to just get it out of your head and like onto paper and onto just ultimately like out of your head. I think that we spend so much time in our head, and it's really not helpful sometimes. So I think that is one of the biggest things. um and like listening to podcasts and reading books and just things that will help you, specifically like target with that. So like if there's something in specific that you are currently going through right now and you want more clarity on, or maybe there's something that you want to improve on, like a positive trait that you have, with like leadership or, sales or whatever it may be, do it, be like very specific with your mindset and like with, the things that you're wanting to learn and wanting to improve on, or maybe things that you're struggling with, that's not a strength to you, but you want to make it a strength, and really just diving into that specific. Like, I can share podcasts all day about certain things, but if that isn't what you're wanting to build with, like build on and really just be, all in on that, then like that's not really going to help you. So when I say to do personal development, I always want you guys to, choose something that is important to you that you want to grow on, and then focus on that and like master that. So, you can search, I don't know if you have Spotify or, Apple Music or whatever, but if you search in, the podcast and you say like, okay, like sales, mindset on sales, or like just anything like that, then you're gonna get a lot of things that pop up too. And, even like books in general, or I say podcast mostly because I feel like that's like the easiest thing just to throw on a podcast when you're doing the dishes or, cleaning up, whatever it is. But I find that that's honestly like the easiest thing. But, I think that um getting out of our own heads is something that we all struggle with. And even even people like successful people already, they deal with that stuff on the regular too. Like, like why me, like stuff like that. So I think just being in the mindset where, like, okay, like, like you recognize it, you see that you're in that space and you need to get out of that space. Like, I mean, I do it with myself. If I like find myself like scrolling on social media and like mainly I'll do it to like look for content to recreate, but if I find myself going down that like rabbit hole, I'll be like, all right, like we gotta get out of this. We gotta switch your mindset to like being in that creation, because then I get like tired. Like I physically feel like, all right, like I don't even want to do anything anymore. Like, that's kind of like how I get, and I literally like I hate feeling like that. So just doing whatever you can to like, get out of that space and get out of your head. And maybe it's like writing down a game plan and like what you want to do, for the day, or just having like 5 main things that you like need to get done or that you want to focus on, and just do that for that day. So, just being in a clear mind. And that's kind of why I'm reading the book Clarity also, which I have right here actually. I don't know if I shared it on my last one, but this book too is to perform better, innovate faster, and get results. So this is like teaching you like about your brain and just kind of like how it works and how like thoughts are, how they kind of work too. And so far, I really do enjoy the book. There's diagrams and stuff in here. There's research, and there's a lot of things that like back on what she's saying. And there's this one thing that she talks about all the time, that clarity equals capacity minus contamination. So, I really like that. And it shows like the little, I don't know if you guys can see that on the bottom, like this little like diagram. So it shows clarity minus capacity equals contamination. Oh, wait, sorry. Clarity, I can't read backwards. Clarity equals capacity minus contamination. There we go. And it's a little like looks like a little tornado, which is funny, but that's kind of like what it is. Like when you think of your mindset and you think of the contamination and like being in like a tornado, like everything's moving so fast, there's lots of shit flying around, like nothing makes sense because it's all over the place. So when you take out that contamination and you take your thoughts and you write them down, you clear your mind, and you take that, and now you have the capacity to do more and to like actually think clearer and be in that state of clarity. So that's why it's so important to get things out of your head and just, sit down with yourself and like really truly just talk to yourself and say, hey, like, why am I feeling this way? Like what has been going on to make me feel this way? Is it something that, just happened, or is it something that, somebody said to me, or just whatever it is that's like causing that state? You just gotta get to the root of it, and ultimately that is writing and journaling. And you can literally search journal prompts too. Like I've used even like in the app Lemon8, I just wrote a journal prompt, or just a journaling like from one of the prompts that I saw on there, and it was more about like relationships. So getting super clear on what it is that you want, and writing out a game plan for that, and ultimately just, having that tunnel vision and knowing exactly what you're going for, what you're doing, and why it's important to you, and to get rid of everything else that's in the tornado just swirling around. So, having clarity is so important, especially with mindset, because if you don't have a clear, vision on what you want to do and where you want to go, then your mind doesn't know like how to process that or what to do to even get to that point. And I feel like going back to our conversation page with the ADHD, like that makes so much more sense, because like things are literally just constantly flying around, and no one like all of the things that you have to do are literally like over here and over here, and like everything's just swirling around in this like contaminated state, and you have no clue what like what you have to do, but you don't know what steps to take first, or even to like take a step at all. And I've felt that. I know exactly how that feels. And literally just getting things out of your head, like you have to just, even if you like literally talking out loud to yourself like by yourself or to whoever, just to talk about it, to get it out of your own head, and and just get it down on paper. And then if you want to burn the paper, whatever you want to do just to, get it out of yourself, I think that's going to be one of the best things that you do for yourself. And that really will clear things up for you. And it's not just like a one-time fix, like it's always going to be there. And I think that the more you do it and the more you are in the affirmation and the gratitude and like talking and being in like that better like mindset and like that state, and starting your day with that, or even ending your day with that, like starting your day with 30 things that you're grateful for, like staying off of your phone right away, writing down your gratitude, writing down your affirmations, and then maybe like as you're sitting there, if you think of things that you have to do for that day, write them down right away. That way they're not just hovering over your head like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, but first I have to do this and then I have to do this. It's like you just gotta write it down, just get it out. And even if it's stuff that you can't get done that day, just write it down so then you can think about it later when you like when you can get to it or something like that, even if it's just for the week, whatever it is. But I really think that that is so important to just externalize that type of stuff. So that's really like all I wanted to talk about today. I know it's like kind of short, but that was pretty much it. I mean, Paige, since you're the only one on here right now, do you have any like specific things that like you want to talk about? um
Honestly, like you hit all the points. Like I was actually talking to someone today, someone to my psychiatrist today, and she was like, for example, I was like, I forget to eat, but I feed my kids every day. They eat
mhm.
like 3 to 4 meals a day, like every day. Like no, I might eat one, and she was like, that's because you're prioritizing them because you care more about them than yourself. And it's like you pretty much just hit that like on the nail. Like that's exactly what she was saying. Like you have to. I know it's hard to figure out what to prioritize, but your mind automatically like goes to what's more important to me, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the stuff is a tornado. So like, you hit everything. Like you did amazing. I appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's true. And and even talking with like stuff like that, like taking care of your kids and stuff, like just another podcast that I've listened to, and being, like if you like forget to eat, but like you make sure your kids eat, I think about it, and you can't like pour from an empty cup, right? Like you have to take care of yourself, and you have to make sure that you are the best person for, your kids that day, because you might be, exerting stuff that you like don't even have, like like this water bottle, say like this is all you have for the day, but that's your kids take up this much, then you have nothing left, and like your social battery, or your just battery in general is drained. So doing things that really like refuel you, and even if you just need like a quick 5-minute breather in the bathroom by yourself, or whatever it is that you can just like just kind of get back into that like grounded state, and be in like that clarity, and like kind of like start like you know getting the things out of the tornado, right? Like really just I've used the tornado analogy because we literally just had one here, which was freaking crazy, but um and it just makes more sense, it just makes so much sense, honestly. But yeah, no, I think just really like, making sure that you are in a great spot, in a great state, especially like, to take care of your kids, and then run a business too, I feel like that's so important. So, no, I guess that I was speaking right to you today. So I love that. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I have today. Like I said, super short, but it was right to the point and meaningful. So thank you for coming on. I'm really proud of you for showing up for yourself and for your kiddos, and you're doing great, and I'm so proud of you. So I'll talk to you soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Bye, Paige.